Thank you so much and welcome, dear viewers. This is Mother and Child TV, or you can also call us MCTV. My name is Patrick and welcome so much to Family Times. Remember last week we were discussing about conflict in family, so today we want to dive deep and make ourselves understand how we can be able to solve this conflict. Remember, we said when a family is in fight, the children are suffering, the whole society is ailing, because remember, the family is the social unit of any society. Welcome so much. So, Pastor, last week we discussed about conflict in family. You helped us understand the conflicts, the various types, and why people are fighting in marriage. So today now, help the viewer who is following us, mwambie tu ili aweze kuelewa how we can be able to solve these conflicts.
To our viewers, thank you for tuning to Mother and Child TV. To them that haven't known me, I'm Franklin Asiga, pastor in a church. Last time we were here, we were talking about conflict. Today, tunataka kuongea juu ya how the conflict is affecting the society. You find that when you talk about conflict, we are talking about two things, or things that are not moving in the same line. When we are talking about conflict in our family, we are talking about things that are not working right in our family. So you find that a family being a social institution, a family being an institution that was begun by God, we find that conflicts, whenever conflict arises, we need to know the right way. The last word we talked, we asked ourselves a question: is fighting one of the solutions? Fighting one of the solutions of solving conflict. We find before we see and find out the remedies or the remedies to conflict, let us just see some of the effects. My host will allow me to just name some effects and name some of the things that might happen when we live in a life of conflict. One of the things that will happen, there are three areas that will be affected by conflict. First area is the two people who are making the family. We are talking about the father and mother and even the children. So to the person concerned, we find that it will have a mental effect. Maybe questions asking exactly what went wrong. You find that within the same person, you find that if conflicts arises, many people will remove trust to others or mate. Why? Because the conflict has arose. Another thing, you find that it will also disrupt somebody's vision. Unapata kwamba mtu alikuwa na mpangilio mzuri ndani ya maisha. Lakini wakati wanaanza kung'ang'ana kwa ajili ya jambo moja na lingine, the visions zinakosa kuendelea. Jengo kubwa ambalo tulikuwa tumepanga kulijenga juu ya familia zetu, masomo ya watoto wetu yanakuja kuwa affected. So these are some of the effects of conflict. Wacha tuangalie about the effect to the family. You find that when conflict arises, there are family breakups, and naturally when the family breakups, the main effect doesn't go to the people who have broken up as family members, but you find that the main effect will go down. Vile Waswahili wanafika mahali wanasema ati ng'ombe mbili ama fahari wawili wakipigana simiazo ni nyazi. So you find that in this case, you find that when there is conflict and the conflict leads to family breakup, the children will suffer most.
Sure. And now, as we have looked at the effects and what is happening after people fight, now help us understand how we can be able to prevent the fighting, and if at any case we'll have conflict, how we can be able to address that so that it doesn't result into fighting.
Let me just mention the last effect. You find that when we talk about a family, from the family we move to that broader society. And when we move to that broader society, you find that when the family is in conflict, even the society doesn't move well. So this is a moment where we cannot realize development even within our society. This is where resources are not well used because there's a conflict within families. And you find that there is a verse I'm always reading in the book or in the Bible. The Bible tells me in the book of Amos that two cannot walk together until they agree. Viewers, this is like normal that conflict will not lack in our families.
Sure.
Yeah. Vile mtu alivyosema kwamba mayai unapoyaweka katika kikapu kimoja ama mama unapoyaweka katika kikapu kimoja, you find that wanagwarusana. Even the Bible recognize it. When Paul was talking to to one of the churches, akiwaambia mtakapokwaruzana. So we are not the show, or as we are talking, we are not talking about that there will not be conflict.
Sure.
But you find that solving. There is somebody who told me about the word maturity. Yeah, maturity told me about maturity being the ability to solve issues when we are in crisis. So we are talking about a crisis called conflict.
Sure.
Conflict. Yeah, fighting is not an option to solve the conflict. Yeah, as the Bible records it, two cannot work together unless they agree. We need to, first thing before we solve a conflict, we need to agree that we have a conflict.
So the first issue is to agree to
Yes.
have a problem.
Yes.
And then from there we look at ways on how we can solve this problem.
Yes.
So we have two people, the wife and the husband.
Yeah.
They have a disagreement. And we have seen very many people these days, they are resorting into fighting. But are there ways that we can use so that we don't get to that point?
Yeah, thank you. You find that many people or many family members are resolving to using the wrong way of solving conflicts, such as the one you have mentioned. You find that there are many avenues. God created us with different wisdom, and you find that and God has given unto us differently grace, has blessed us with different grace. So you find that when you talk about conflict, after agreeing and accepting that we have a conflict in either a family, the second thing we need to know that exactly what was the cause of this conflict. Yes, we have agreed. Yes, there is a conflict and we have a conflict. Maybe the conflict arose after I only spent 70,000 that was in the bank without your knowledge. So after understanding that the conflict is arising because of the 70,000 that was in the bank, we need to begin to solve. Now to understand, yes, this is the conflict and how are we resolving this. So one of the ways we need to resolve is to include the right people who can give us a way forward. Yeah, there's a word I always read somewhere that somebody is molded, a character is molded by the people he works with and also the books he reads. So you find that we need to have people in our lives who will be able to assist us. And thank God, because of God has raised pastors, God has also given wisdom to the counselors. God also has given wisdom to our parents. You find that some of our parents have the wisdom. Maybe some of them have already passed whatever we are passing today. So we need, before we take a step to think of resolving the conflict we have, we need to have a person who can speak in our lives.
And address the problem.
Yes, and address the problem.
So I received a question last week through my Facebook page, and a viewer who is watching us from Githurai last week asked a question, and she said, me and my husband, we have been fighting for quite some while now, but the problem is my husband never likes to talk about issues. He does not have time to address issues. So this is a family that is in conflict, and the husband keeps quiet. Whenever there is a problem, he keeps quiet. So have you helped such family?
Yeah, thank you for responding even to the last time's show. We thank you for even doing the last time show. So you find that when conflicts arise, they must have a source, and they must have a source. So to our dear listener or our dear viewer from Githurai, I want just to tell you that the only way to solve, is to begin with understanding exactly why is your husband so quiet when it comes to issues. That is the first thing you have to do, because taking this next step might not be of much assistance. Understand exactly. I know before some people, many of us, before we get married, that's why I had a forum that I was talking about how many years are recommended for one to have courtship before they marry. So this is the time also we need to understand our mates before we join them. We join together with them in families. So you find that we need also to understand exactly what is the cause of this quietness within your husband, and if you understand, maybe there is an error he's not telling you. So after understanding that, maybe you can take the second step. If you have somebody, a counselor whom you understand well, maybe you have a pastor whom you know well, you can share that issue with him so that he may also give you a guideline. And also, some of us, we have people who are called best couples. Those people, those couples that stood with us when we were getting together in marriages. So even our best couple also can also assist in giving a solution to that, because he might have a greater experience in maybe when it comes to marriage than maybe we are. So what I can just advise, get a pastor, get a counselor, or you can inquire from the best couple.
So to the people who cannot be able to access a counselor, some of these issues are a bit expensive to our people at some time. You cannot be able to access the services of a counselor. Maybe you don't belong to a particular church. So who are the best people that you can be able to talk to immediately at first, so that you can be able to solve this problem?
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, many of the generation we are living in, we are living afar from our parents. But during the times maybe when we were being raised up, you find that we were close to parents. So the first person also, if you can have that favor to meet and give you assistance over such a conflict, have time with your parents, either the wife's parent, or also you can have time with the husband's parent. So you find that the husband's parent might in another way understand well of their son, and even also the wife's parent can also have some understanding of their daughter. So yes, we don't have the enough resources to go to the counselor. Can we have that connection with our parents so that the parents may give us a right direction? Because I know when we allow conflicts to continue within our families, automatically we will not move ahead with our visions. So we need, if you cannot accept the counselor, move to close to your parents. Yeah, and also we have some friends. I know we have friends.
Sure.
Yeah, we have friends. And I know, Mr. Patrick, you have a friend that you value. You have a friend that maybe you adore his family. You look at the family of Mr. A or B, and you say, this family is a well-established family. You can move to such a person and try to reason with him. Because through reasoning with such a person, automatically we'll get an idea and we'll get a resolutions of which will help you move out of the conflict.
Sure. So now, thank you so much. You have walked us through, you have helped us understand. Whenever there is an issue, who you can always talk to. The pastor has said you can talk to a pastor, you can talk to a counselor, you can talk to your parents, and also you can talk to your best couple. Now, we have a family that is fighting. Unfortunately, this family doesn't belong to any church. They cannot be able to access the counselor. The parents are far away, and they are fighting in the presence of their children. So is there a way that we can be able to help this family, this one that doesn't have any place that they can run to?
Yeah, to my viewers, I thank God because of the age we are living in. I'll just advise to all of our viewers that get somewhere so where you can be nourished spiritually. Get somewhere that where there is a man of God who will be speaking upon your life. Yeah, to the question that Mr. Patrick you have given unto me, I want to also talk about conflict in the presence of children. Yeah, you find that when you talk about conflict is something like it's something like we may affect. It can move from one generation to another generation. It can affect when the parents are in conflict, automatically this will move down to children. You find that maybe when you are walking down there evening, you find that your younger son is just talking bad to your elder son.
Mhm.
Why? Because they have seen that seed of conflict
From
within
the
from the family.
Sure.
So, an advice to the parents
Mhm.
who are blessed with children.
Mhm.
For example, when there is an issue that we need to solve,
Mhm.
maybe we solve it in the absence of the children. So you find that when you are solving it in the absence of the children will never understand. And there's somebody who advised me, and it has worked to me,
Mhm.
that any issue,
Mhm.
a contentious issue,
Mhm.
will never be solved during the day.
Mhm.
I always solve my contentious issue
Mhm.
within the night,
Mhm.
when we are on bed,
Mhm.
or when we are in bed.
Mhm.
When you are in bed, that is enough time
Mhm.
that you can solve any other thing,
Mhm.
so that we come, we reason together.
Sure.
Yes, we remember where we have come from, we remember our love, we remember where we are going
Mhm.
during the time when we are, me and my wife.
Mhm.
So we can adopt also such a lifestyle that whenever the conflict arises, let us ensure that the children, the younger ones, are not within,
Sure.
so that it may not affect their future, it may not affect their future family, future visions.
Yeah, remember,
Yeah.
because we say children learn from what they see.
Yes.
So thank you so much, dear viewers, for following along. Today we have looked at conflict, and we have looked at how we can solve this conflict. And today we have just introduced the children. Remember, we have been talking about the husband and the wife. So join us next week. We'll be looking at how we can bring up our children well, and how we can do good parenting, so that we also deal with these teenagers and also these other children. My name is Patrick. See you next week, same time, same place. But before you go, the pastor will give you his number, so that in case you have a problem, you can always text and reach him, so that you can discuss your issue. So pastor,
Yeah.
give the viewers your
I am Pastor Franklin, ministering in church Ruiru, Faith Church of Christ International. My telephone number is 0723 219 038. I repeat it again.
Sure.
Yeah, my telephone number is 0723 219 038. Also, you can get me at the Facebook platform, yeah, Franklin Masiga, and you will find me at that Facebook platform. Also, you can also follow me. Maybe you have something you can send to my email. I have my email, franklinmasiga@gmail.com. Shalom.
So you can also talk to us, keep the conversation going, and we thank you so much for the feedback that we received last week. I can see so many people have questions and issues. We'll be looking at them. Remember, we are on Facebook at Family Times, Mother and Child TV, and my personal Facebook page is Patrick Mwita. See you next week, same time.